how does your past dieting success impact your decision for surgery? So to talk about that, let's first give you a quick refresher about your metabolic thermostat. Remember, our body has a set point. That's the weight we want to stay at. And as we drift away from that weight, as we starve ourselves, we increase our hunger and we decrease our metabolism, and ultimately that fights back and that tries to push our weight back toward our set point. And for some people, this is a very strong influence, and for others, it's not. And there is this smaller group of patients we see where we don't have those strong influences, where they can lose 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, and more pounds just by adjusting their diet. And they don't get these extremes of hunger and these decrease in metabolism that cause the plateaus. We see that more at younger people. So younger people tend to have a wider set point. And what that really means is that if you can get your eating in check and you can get your exercise in check, then you can actually lose a lot of weight. Now, most people think that everybody can do this, but it's really not true. A lot of people plateau at around 10% of their total body weight. If you're 250 pounds, and then you can lose about 25 pounds, 10% of that, and then your hunger just becomes unmanageable. Your metabolism slows down to meet your 1,200 or 1,000 calories a day that you're struggling to maintain. And ultimately, the metabolic thermostat pushes you back toward the center and you regain that weight. So if you're in this group, and it's not only younger people, it just tends to be younger people. But if you're in this group where you have the ability to lose 50, 75 pounds, then this is something that's important to consider, because again, weight loss surgery comes down to it being the best option for you if all other options fail. And if we find patients who can really lose a lot of weight just by adjusting their eating, by getting on either the Pound to Cure program, or in this sense, any type of restricted calorie program, and get a significant amount of weight off, then oftentimes we are able to work with them and teach them how to maintain that weight loss. Sometimes we have to use a little bit of medication in there as well. But again, if it can save you surgery, then it's worth going through. So I think the fundamental question is, have you been successful in your dieting efforts in the past? And there really is a lot to this question, because if you told me that I went on some 600 or 800 calorie a day diet and I forced myself into ketosis and I just willed the weight off through an extreme starvation measure, to me, this is not a reasonable attempt at dieting. This is a kind of extreme, drastic step where you tricked your body into losing this weight, but it wasn't anything that resembled a sustainable plan. So when I look at past dieting episodes, it's really when people employed a reasonable and sustainable plan, and if they were able to lose a significant amount of weight, then I think we have to look and say, all right, what was it that made you start to drift backward? What were the factors that caused the weight gain? And perhaps we can try a different nutritional plan, and perhaps add some things like exercise in if that wasn't done in the past. And again, sometimes medications in this group of people can be helpful, but that may allow us to figure out how to do this without surgery. Oftentimes what I'll do is I'll work with these patients and give them a 3 to 6 month trial of our metabolic reset diet and see if we can get them down to a reasonable weight. And if the weight keeps coming and and as importantly, they're enjoying the program, they like eating this way, it's working with their lifestyle, they're integrating it into their household, then we can potentially avoid surgery. Now, the group of patients who I really think should strongly consider weight loss surgery is when they hit that 10% mark. So they're at 250 pounds, they can lose 25 pounds, and then it stops like a rock. And as they reflect back on all of their weight loss attempts in the last 5 or 10 years, then they recognize, you know what, it always was this 20, 25 pounds. In that group of patients, we're really dealing with a very fixed set point, and it's very likely that we're not going to be able to find durable, lifelong success without some type of surgical intervention.